Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is a gorgeous morning, and I've just gotten the majority of the high tunnel watered. I've got little pockets here and there of empty space, and while I still have my wall of peppers, I'm still waiting for the sweet nona's peppers on the other side to ripen as well. We've got ground cherries, and I've got some okra there interspersed with some brassicas that are coming up from like just reseeding. I think it's broccoli. I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to plant carrots today and a couple other things. But I mentioned the carrots because I have not grown carrots in a while. I say a while. It's been 9 years since I've grown carrots. And, you know, for snacking and stuff like that, they're okay. It's not something like I typically go towards, but it's starting to get very cool. And in the fall, I love making like carrot cake, like a spice cake with shredded carrot in it. And these are the Lila Lusang, and they're supposed to be just a very sweet carrot, 75 days, sprouts in 12 to 18 days. So we're going to put all that on the calendar just so I can be watching for it. But what I've done here, I have pre-moistened my soil. I've got, you can just kind of barely see it, but I've got 2 trenches here, and they're only supposed to be 1/8 of an inch deep. I, of course, did not bring my stand with me today, so we're going to put you there, and hopefully you can hear me still. But I'm going to open these carrots, and the seeds are quite tiny. If you've never grown carrots, they are very, very small. So we're just going to take these, and we're going to sprinkle them in to the trench that I made. And I'm going to just use up all of the seeds here. Okay. So I'm going to be keeping a lookout. 12 to 18 days. Make sure that they sprout. And I'm just going to very lightly sprinkle soil over top. We are still experiencing pretty warm days. Our mornings are lovely and cool and just really amazing, but the afternoons are still getting up into the 80s, the low 80s, which, again, isn't terribly hot by any means, but it's probably warmer than these would prefer. And let's see, ideal temp is 50 to 75. So we're sort of in that range. Again, probably just a little bit warmer during the day for about the next 10 days. And then, it'll start getting cooler. The nice thing about the sprayer that I have is that it has a mist setting. And I pre-moisten the soil because typically you would not want to water on top of the seeds once they're sown, because it can displace them. But I can use the mist setting on my sprayer. Let me show you guys here. So this one right here. And that is going to be just a very light, this is pretty loud. It's going to be just a very light spray, as you can see. Get everything nice and moist. Okay, and I am now soaking wet. But carrots are watered in. So the name of the game is just going to be keeping these lightly moistened and misted for the next few days. I was thinking about this because I've heard of people putting like a board on top, which seals in the moisture, helps it so the seeds don't move. And I don't really have anything that I could do that with, which is okay. We're going to label that section before I forget. And hopefully soon we will have carrots. I will keep y'all posted. I'm going to get some other things sown in the high tunnel, and we'll talk about that probably later on. But quick one. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Well, I just want to hop back on real quick. As you can tell, I am back home, changed, but I did get a couple more things sown. And so I got kohlrabi, the dwarf Siberian kale, and how I did that, and we'll do another video where I show you guys, but basically I did the kohlrabi on either side of the row, and then the dwarf Siberian kale in the middle. And what that does is, because kohlrabi is a root veg and the kale are not super deep rooted, especially not that variety. They're not super deep rooted, and you can harvest kale in many stages: microgreens, baby greens, or full grown. And so the nice thing about just kind of sowing them in a row, once they come up, I wouldn't harvest them typically out of the garden as a microgreen. You'd grow them in like little trays inside for that. But, like as a baby green, and then you can kind of thin them out by doing that, and then allow the plants to get bigger. And it's dwarf Siberian kale, so it doesn't get like massive. So I got that sown. I got the Navone yellow rutabagas sown. I didn't have a ton of seeds, and I think I had started a tray, a bunch of seeds a while ago, and I just did not take great care of them. And so they ended up, everything just kind of got leggy. So I ended up just taking them all out, working that into the soil, and I'll restart things here again. I'm picking up soil today. And let's see that. Oh, and then the winter sun, or it's also I think known as winter soon, yellow beets. I also got started. So we got quite a bit started today. I am probably going to get more started later this afternoon, like more broccolis, Brussels sprouts, things like that. And then once we start tearing out the peppers, I'll amend the soil, and then we'll sow that stuff back. So September 2nd, I'm a bit late getting a lot of that stuff going. Like it should have been that original sowing that I did, where I started everything in trays, and I should have just allowed that to be, the stuff that got planted out. But again, like we've had a lot going on. I didn't track it, and it kind of got leggy and stuff. But I've got the greenhouse cabinet on the side of the house. And so I'm going to get that all set up again, and we'll get everything going in there. But that's what I did today.